Never come to Vietnam if you're like this. No, seriously. The people do not want you here. Unless you're the opposite. If you are the opposite of what I'm about to say, then please, by all means, welcome on in Vietnam. That got me thinking about the do's and don'ts of coming to Vietnam and what I've seen, what I've experienced in terms of friendships with foreigners, expats, myself, and the type of people that come to Vietnam and type of people who shouldn't come to Vietnam. So I had 3 lists of reasons and 3 lists of reasons why you shouldn't if you're this type of person. The first one being, don't come to Vietnam if you think your country should be like Vietnam, or whatever you're used to should be like Vietnam. I've seen it time and time again, foreigners, expats, complaining about the fact that why is Vietnam a specific and certain way? Maybe it's too fast, maybe it's too slow, maybe it's too hectic, maybe it's not hectic enough. Why are people like this, or why are people like that? And they always talk about Vietnam as if it should be a certain type of way that should cater to the individual. Newsflash or reality check, you're in Vietnam. You're in another territory or another country. So in that sense, should the country cater to you? I mean, years in history, should that be catered to your ideal world, your expertise, how you should like things? Unfortunately, it's not. But I've seen it time and time again with so many foreigners are always complaining about XYZ thing, about always the Vietnamese people, government, and the biggest part in being is just how the Vietnamese people operate. And the reality is, it's not going to change, nor will it change for you. So either accept it or don't come, because Vietnam will not be for you. Second one being is the language. Now, I'm not saying you have to be fluent in Vietnamese. In fact, I'm not even fluent in Vietnamese, and I'm half Vietnamese. However, because of the fact that Vietnamese, I'm not gonna lie, it's a difficult language, even for me to learn or even pronounce. But because of that, if you come to a place like District 1, Thao Dinh, it's very Western friendly, very English friendly. So you can go around just speaking English the whole time. But yes, there are situations where you're not going to be able to communicate properly your thoughts, what you want to say, what you want to do properly. So yeah, you might have to use Translate, or you're going to try to just speak English and hopefully they can understand what you're trying to say. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, because English is not their first language, yes, there's going to be communication issues. Yes, there's going to be times where things don't make sense and you thought it's going to be like this, but the translation, the communication was like this, and then there's this big problem. And I've seen time and time again, I've heard stories of foreigners or people just lashing out on that person who was communicating with them on, okay, why didn't you talk like this? Why didn't you say it like this? When in reality, you have to understand, English, they're learning English for you guys. They're trying to cater to you. So when you go around trying to expect them to speak that language and, complain and say, oh, why are you like this? Causes massive drama about it. It wouldn't make sense, or it should even be part of the situation if English was never their first language. But I've seen it stories of, oh my God, there's a French guy who actually went ballistic on a staff just because they got his order wrong. It was a French trying to speak French and English to her, as if that was going to help the situation. But it was quite a time. I'm stopping a little bit because my stop's here, so I'll get back to it so you can see the whole view in a second. Oh yeah, cảm ơn. Yeah, trả tiền rồi, right? Yeah, cảm ơn. Okay. Yeah, am I gonna edit this out? No, because the view's so nice. So I'll actually do it over here. Yeah, it's actually one of I would say the nicest hotels in all of Vietnam. And right now I just wanted to do a quick walk of it. We'll get back into the do's and don'ts, but sometimes in Vietnam, there's beautiful things that you don't get to, appreciate here now and then, especially the palm trees, but it's actually raining right now. But anyways, I digress. The language, yes, English is not their first language. So when you go into these places, yes, there's very Western friendly. It should be speak English. The reality is, yeah, it's not always going to be communicated properly. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, and sometimes there's massive miscommunications. To go on a rampage or yell or expect it to be XYZ way just because of the language, don't come here. It's going to cause problems, and you won't enjoy the time fully. The third one being is, yes, it's a good idea to have your money stretch out. I'm just moving because the rain, it's actually pouring down, but I got to get through this because it had some thoughts in my head. But yes, your money does stretch out. Yes, it's better and smarter to have your money be more advantageous to you. But just because it's more advantageous to you, just because you're going to be more economically, and yeah, you're going to be a little bit more financially well off than the Vietnamese people here, doesn't mean you're better than them. Doesn't mean you can act a certain way, expect yourself to be of a higher class, or they're doing your bidding or whatever for whatever reason. They're just people just like you. In fact, they're helping you much more than you are helping them. Because look, they're not the only foreigner or expat or rich person here in Vietnam. Actually, if you go to the wealthier areas, especially in District 1, Thao Dinh, you'll actually see a lot of rich Vietnamese people. But you won't be exposed to that because that type of demographic, they like to hang and associate with other Vietnamese people. So when you have this expectation that, I'm paying for the service, I'm better than you, so you should be like this, you should act like that, it's ridiculous, so far off, ridiculous. And also, would you even want to piss off or act in that demeanor or manner on why are you being like this? I'm giving you money, you should be expecting some XYZ thing. It's almost like pissing off your barber. Would you want to piss off your barber? Or the chef? Or you'll see the news or the videos about it, you never want to make the fast food worker, not as saying they're fast food workers, but making a comparison, you never want to piss off somebody who's actively trying to help you, because you never know the product or service at the end could be going on something wrong with it. So on those three things, don't come if you're just like the three types of personality traits that I just mentioned. Now, do's, it's pretty much the opposite of that. I'll make those quick because I'm going to be honest, it's actually pouring rain right now in Vietnam as I make this. So, do's, just pretty much the opposite. If you're somebody who enjoys the culture, the country, has a sense of wanting to actually understand them, learn a little bit about the language, and actually, make a life here, go ahead, make the jump, make the commitment, because there's something about it you want to know more about the country and culture itself. And oh man, my thoughts are running out as it's pouring on me. All right, I'll just end it off here.